Big man, thank you so much. We've been trying to connect and do this for so long. I'm so happy to do this.
Definitely do.
We've got to have a workout next week.
That was like Dylan, like hey, you
Oh, is that my auntie?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'll take that. All right, that's sick. Okay,
You're
we'll do
definitely
that.
one of the
If you get that beer on, we're good to keep that. Okay, let's go super quick background in a nutshell. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's Adam? Why are you so phenomenal?
Phenomenal. I think I'm original.
Ooh,
Right?
nice.
I don't know if phenomenal is a key descriptor that I would have in my own vocabulary for who I am.
Yeah.
But I definitely have been original from the start, and I'm somebody who, 8 years. It's been a while. 9 years ago, my brother died of a drug overdose.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was a union electrician.
Yeah.
I was in a place where everything was about me. And I got a call one morning that shook every fiber of my being. My entire life changed. My brother died of a drug overdose.
Yeah.
And at that exact moment, this inevitability of strength and what it is that we possess within our physical self meant so much less.
Yeah.
And
Isn't it shit how things like that put the realness into perspective?
yeah, because nothing else that we thought was stressful or hard was relevant, because something new and so much more stressful and so scary, right? Because my brother died at 35. So now here I am, 22 years old, trying to understand how life will unfold for myself.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I understand about being a man, or being a Rothfelder man, is that we die young. And and it was crazy. So basically what that did was I get a call that my brother passes away, and on my way there, I hear an ad on the radio, and it's for a kickboxing tournament.
Yeah.
And I let it pass, and I get there to the scene where my brother's body is, and the police wouldn't let me see him.
Mm-hmm.
I got so angry that I pushed a cop. I took a cop down to the ground.
Yeah.
Another cop showed up and recognized me and was like, yo, let him go, he's a good dude, and I've never been violent in my life, but this cop wasn't gonna let me see my brother's body. And my brother died in my bedroom at my parents' house, and I was staying with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so they're like, get the fuck back in the car. Is it all right if I swear a little bit?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, yeah.
Fuck you.
So all right. So they're like, get the fuck in the car and leave before we arrest you. So I got back in the car, and I drove right to that Harley Davidson dealership that I heard that they were holding signups for this fight.
Yep.
And I was like, sign me up.
Yep.
2 weeks later, everything changed. I fought. Somebody was like, you're good.
Yep.
I trained. I became a pro.
Yep.
I thought that was everything. Put all my emotions in it, my anger, whatever it is that I was feeling. Whoever I fought felt that.
Yeah.
And whatever they felt, I felt even more. It was like they only got a fraction of my pain.
Yeah.
And in some ways, it felt good to be in pain.
Yeah.
And some physical pain, because it took my mind off the emotion of it.
Yep.
And that type of therapy is not sustainable. And it's kind of like how a lot of people with aggression.
It served its purpose, though.
Served its purpose.
Yep.
It really did.
Yep.
And then my shoulder exploded.
Yeah.
My left shoulder just deteriorated. I had 2 torn labrums in my left shoulder, partial, and it just kept on, same shit just kept happening in my left shoulder. And I retired. I was 28 at the time. And I decided to move to LA and, just get out of the Midwest and, probably run from my problems.
Yep.
Now I'm running.
Yep.
So I'm not fighting, I'm running now.
Yep.
And through that process of running, I ran into myself, and I found something new. I moved back home, and that all started when I got the call that my dad was diagnosed with cancer. So now it's, 6 years later, 7 years later, and now, my dad's got cancer. My dad's 69 at the time, and, I moved back, and I wasn't the same Adam. I was educated. I was motivated. I was clear-headed in some sense.
Yeah.
And I went back home to Milwaukee, where I soon after opened up a gym.
Yeah.
Quickly grew this little gym into this monster gym that we were very well known. Went from 1,000 square foot to a 6,000 square foot facility in less than 2 years.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because my dad and I actually built each gym like in the middle.
Yeah.
As we grew, we went through 3 gyms in 2 years.
Yeah.
And at that last gym that we built, my dad really took a turn for his health. It really went south.
Yeah.
And I knew that this was the last gym he was going to help me build. And it was beautiful. And when my dad passed away, I no longer, months later after he passed away, after the grand opening, I had a baby, and my dad got to meet my daughter Azalea, and less than a month later he passed away. And that was like round 2. Ding ding, and everything changed again. I now have the highest moment in my life.
Yep.
My daughter.
Yep.
I mean, fuck the gym.
Yeah.
The success, whatever it is. I don't give a shit about that. The grand scheme, it's like what's happening, and what's positive, what's changed. What's being affected by this thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
And having a kid was this extreme moment that just put everything into another perspective. Where, although my dad's death created this lower low than even my brother passing, but yet the relevance of my father's death it was harder to deal with, but on different levels, because I now was a father.
Yeah.
And now I had people to take care of.
Yep.
And the paradigm shifted. It was like my dad gave his life
for you to step into that role.
To step into that role, where all of a sudden I became the last Rothfelder man.
Yeah.
Of our entire family.
Yeah.
And I have 2 sisters.
Yep.
I have a little brother who is adopted. He's a Rothfelder, but it's not blood. It's a different thing. And it's not that. I
get it.
Yeah. Contextually,
yeah, totally.
Hopefully that sounds not bad.
Yeah.
But that's. But some good things came. I mean, I obviously, my dad passes away, and then 3 months later, I get a call from Versace, and then NBC. And all of a sudden now I'm going to be this huge Versace model, and I'm going to be the star on this NBC show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Strap yourself in. It's a roller coaster.
Are you ready for a ride? I mean, that's basically what happened. It was like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And the show up here again, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm on NBC.
Yeah.
The biggest network in the fucking world.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm killing it. But I'm sad. I'm depressed. But that momentary elation.
Yes.
It pulled me back out. My daughter pulled me back out. And then another daughter.
Yeah.
And it was just boom, 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 lifting me, supporting me, showing that I can't be depressed. I got to find a way out of this hole.
Yep.
And that is where I realized that this isn't about weight training. This isn't about everything changed in the relevancy of my how I approached clients, how I approached everything fitness wise.
Yeah.
Because it was no longer a sprint. It was now a marathon.
Yep.
And I was in a hurry to get to 35 because I was afraid I was going to die.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was a sprint from 22 to 35.
Yep.
Like, my brother died at 35. I'm going to die at 35.
Yep.
Like, I don't know what life is beyond 35. Like, I've never seen it in this, like...
Yeah.
Right?
Like in a role model
In a role model view.
Brother was, yeah.
Right. And so as I hit 35, I realized I'm not going to die at 35. You know, like, I mean, who knows when my time comes.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a number. It was a number that was haunting me. And I started changing things about my life. I started doing as I said and not as I do.
Yep.
And I started really following my own practices, and it brought me to right here, man. You know, my authentic self, being original, not falling too far into the dogma, not allowing you know, the idea of what a man should be to affect me in who I actually am and how I project and portray myself. Tattoos, muscles, right? Like, there's like me and you have a certain image, but like, I can cry at a movie, man.
Totally, yeah.
Like,
I literally cried 2 nights ago.
like I mean, I have a big heart.
Yeah.
And all too often it's too big. Like, I let a lot of people in.
Yeah.
And even though through all the loss, a lot of people they become more closed. But I actually just opened myself up more because I was really looking for that thing that was missing, this whether it was a mentor, you know, whether it was whatever it was, I felt like I needed to be open because something amazing could come my way, and that was really important. And I apologize.
That's all right.
You know, and as that, I watch. Extremely convenient, but yet also annoying. I know I silenced my phone, but so yeah, I mean, it changed everything, and as it changed, I started getting recognized because I started teaching this very unique style to me that was like ballet and martial arts and all these things. We are recording, Amanda Bucci.
Yeah, you can jump in if you want.
You can jump in and say hi.
Sharing is caring.
Okay. That's all right. That's all right. Free form. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that's right. That's what I was saying. So I started teaching more expressionist movement and allowing myself to, you know, like when I would teach class, these super intense classes, I would literally be doing ballet behind them. Suit news and, you know, pliés and like all these things and grand pliés, and you know, I enjoy rotation and movement, but I also like deadlifting really heavy weights. And I love eating a certain way, and I also believe you can eat any way you want. You know, as long as you don't eat shit, right? And I started seeing these things, and I started treating it myself like a marathon, and therefore I started attracting others that are looking for that long, sustainable lifestyle. And I attracted Laird Hamilton and Gabrielle Reese. And they brought me onto XPT, which is their extreme pool training program, which, you know, is an amazing program. They do some really cool things. It's a little expensive, you know, but if you got an extra $5,000 to spend on hanging out with them in a pool and doing some breathing, I definitely recommend it, you know, if you got some disposable income. But I could never afford it. You know, I mean, like, I'm just like sitting there. I mean, like, don't be mistaken. Like, Instagram following, being on TV, I'm not rich, right? Like, this shirt I got for free. I could lie, but
many do,
but I'm not. And so I moved my family to LA after working with Laird and Gabby for a little bit. Moved my way to LA, got a hard lesson in LA life. Nothing's forever. I quickly, you know, had to find my own clientele and get my own thing started. And somebody walked into my life that has been a huge mentor to me, and that's Blake Mykoski, the founder of Tom's. And Blake has been, you know, a client that I know personally that has talked about me, like on Bulletproof Podcast and, you know, other podcasts that I've like kept him injury free and taught him new ways to train and sustainable eating and all these things. then I started attracting more entrepreneurs like that, like Ben Goldhirsch and Courtney Riem and all these names of people that are huge in the startup world, and they saw something I was doing. Ryan Magnuson, Leslie Schofield, like these are all people that are like in Summit and all these great entrepreneurial groups that are really doing something incredible.
Yeah. And
it started rubbing off on me. And they saw more in me than I saw in myself. And they were like selfish because they didn't want me to leave them.
Yep.
So they want me to succeed, but not if they lose me as a trainer.
Yeah.
But then one day, as a whole, my clientele was like, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Like, you are so passionate.
Yeah.
You're so creative. You're so original in what you do and your thoughts. And you know, I mean, as much as I, love lifting weights and everything, man, I love creating.
Yeah.
Like, I don't love destroying. I mean, bodybuilding and all that. It's like the idea of like destroying your body to build it up.
Yeah.
It's like, I like the creating part, like the building part, not always the destructive side. And it started, this. So I've recently, dove back into this entrepreneurial world with some incredible people behind me. And Blake Mykoski introduced me to the founder of Good Inc.
Okay, yeah.
His name is Ben Goldhirsch. And they also founded Upworthy, which is a huge thing. And Good does tons of charitable, like marketing, advertising, development work. And it was my first session with Ben. And I just got introduced to him, and Blake gave me one rule. He's like, you cannot allow another client to take my time. And I was like, deal.
Sold.
Deal.
Yeah.
And I show up to Ben's house, 6 a.m, and he's like, hey, good morning. We meet each other. We have this awkward hug that you have when you first meet somebody at 6 a.m. that's only wearing like his boxers, And they were a pair of thieves. Don't worry, Cash Warren. We're representing you. And he's like, I'd offer you coffee, but I have none. I was like, good thing I brought something that's like coffee, if you'd like to try it. And I walked him out, and we walked out to my car and grabbed this stuff, and he takes this stuff, this coffee stuff, puts it in a cup and stirs it up. He's like, wow, that mix is really easy. And he drinks it and he goes, holy fuck, that's good. And he's like, wow, I feel good.
Yeah.
And his wife goes, is that coffee I smell? She comes walking down.
Yeah.
And like, it's easy to please a guy. But pleasing a girl, it's not as easy, So she comes down, she's like, is that coffee? She's like, that sounds so good, wiping dust out of her eyes. Takes a sip and she's like, oh my God. She's like, I quit drinking coffee, but now I want one. So the next morning, we do our training session. There's no talk of coffee. They just enjoy it. It's done.
Yeah.
The next morning, I get a text message at 5 a.m. and it's like, bring more of that coffee.
Yeah.
And that's what you just had. After 6 months of innovation and formulation, I've served over 2,000 cups of this at fitness expos to get true feedback. No brand, no story, just me serving cups, nothing fancy. Just talking to people and asking them if they're thirsty. Would you like to try some coffee? And now you just tried it.
A couple of angles I want to come around with this is...
I talked a lot.
No, this is fantastic. This is why you're here. You're a fantastic human being. The originality, the staying away from the dogmatic approach, how do you help others have that?
Yeah. First, I have to say you have to let go of your ego.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to let go of it, so you have to smash it into fucking pieces.
Yeah.
Right? You have to become so physically destroyed that it's a necessity to think that way.
Yeah.
So some people who can't let it go, they have to be forced to let it go.
Yeah.
And I do that to people.
Yeah.
So sometimes I force them to let it go.
Yeah.
I push them to a level where I'll almost break them.
Yeah.
And then I'll back off with a different variation
Yeah.
of training, and I'll get them to understand why this is happening.
Yes.
So I think that when people need to let go of the dogma, they need to realize that we're all selling something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of biased science.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. You can cherry pick it if you want.
Right. And you can make anything sound approachable, like flexible dieting and like all this. Like, is it okay to eat refined sugars? I mean, I guess technically, if you eat them in small doses, but like, why even do it?
Yeah.
This is where I want to make sure that you get the most out of being here, and I want to hear from you. So if you've enjoyed this episode, click like and make sure I can send you the new episodes each and every week. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, I really want to make sure that I'm giving you exactly what you need. So comment below. I want to know what you're going to take away from this episode. And the best conversations after every episode always happen in the Breaking Success Tribe. I'll pop a link below for you to join the free group so you get access to the guides, the live streams. I'm in there answering your questions personally each and every day. Plus you get all the episodes as well. So thank you so much for being here and joining us. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.